Magnitude 2.6 Seattle earthquake just struck. It struck Washington just 2 days after the 4.7 earthquake off Vancouver Island. This is the same exact area. It's the subduction zone. It's the Cascadia arc. Here we are, Seattle, Washington area. And going back to our map, this is it right here, the past hour. And this is the one that struck 4.7 about 2 days ago, Port Hardy, off Vancouver Island. As we know, Vancouver Island is basically like a big ship. There's a lot of movement here. And every time we have an earthquake here, of course, it affects and strikes earthquake. We have our earthquakes here in this area. 2.6 and 2.4, sorry. Is it 2.4 or 2.6? 2.6. Why is it saying 2.4? I guess they readjusted this. 2.4, no, it's 2.6. What can I tell you? All right, this is 2.4, the other one says 2.6. How is that possible? I have a second computer showing it at 2.6. At Rocky Point, is it two different quakes? Yeah, it's two different quakes. Okay, we had the today's earthquake, 2.6 at Rocky Point, Washington. And again, this one, that was 6 hours before this one here. So it's 2.4 and 2.6. Two earthquakes, 2.4 and 2.6. And let's go back to this. Okay, where's the other one? 2.4, 2.6. No, that's not it. Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's all right. It's moving, as we can see. Let's go back to this. And our shake map right there. No shake map, but we'll talk about what the tectonics are. Pacific Northwest. We have been told that they are expecting a huge earthquake is overdue in the Portland-Seattle area. The last time we had the 9 magnitude earthquake was around the year 1700. It gives megathrust earthquakes. Now, earthquakes in Pacific Northwest, states of Washington and Oregon result from slip and faults in a variety of geographic and geological settings. Earthquakes in much of the region are a consequence of stressing associated with motion in the Juan de Fuca oceanic plate to the northwest in respect to the North American continental plate. So the Pacific plate, as we know, is subducting under the North American plate. This relative motion is largely made possible because the Juan de Fuca descends into the Earth's mantle below North America, called the Cascadia subduction zone, extending from Northwest California through Western Oregon and Western Washington to Vancouver Island, Canada. Relative plate motion that is not accommodated by subduction of the Juan de Fuca plate is accommodated by deformation of the overriding North American plate. Earthquakes are associated with both the subduction process and deformation of overriding North American plate. Now, they go into the various type of earthquakes that we have. We do have a swarm here, as we've seen, a swarm in that area. And volcanic earthquakes. We do have volcanoes around that area. Deep earthquakes. This one was not deep. This was the deep earthquakes are from 45 to 70 kilometers depth. This was at a 24, was it 24? 23.7 kilometers depth. The one off Vancouver was at 10 kilometer depth. So megathrust earthquakes result from rupture of principal interface between subduction Juan de Fuca plate and the override North American plate. The last great megathrust earthquake in the Cascadia subduction zone was the year 1700, a 1,000 kilometer long rupture, that's over 600 miles, that is documented by studies of resulting tsunami in Japan by Native American oral traditions and by geological deposits from tsunami and offshore turbidity flow caused by intense shaking and ground deformation associated with earthquakes. Most of the megathrust interface between the Juan de Fuca plate and North American plate has not been seismically active in the decades during which it has been monitored by seismometers, except perhaps near Cape Mendocino, where a Gorda microplate is commonly demarcated with the border of Juan de Fuca plate. And we can go into that right here. We could even see it right here. Okay, Strait of Juan de Fuca, and let's make this a little bit straighter, and we can see it right there. Okay, the Gorda Basin, Juan de Fuca zone, Blanco fracture zone, the Cascadia area, and we even have the Mendocino Ridge, and we even have seamounts here. We have underwater volcanoes, as you can see there. Seamounts are the underwater volcanoes. Right here. Okay. Very active area. Right here. Okay. And here's our area. And this is where we had the 4.7 on the 10th of May. The Mendocino, as we said before, the Juan de Fuca plate, and at one local offshore from Astoria, Oregon. However, geodetic data shows that compressive tectonic strain is currently accumulating across Cascadia megathrust as a result of the subduction process, together with geologic evidence for the 1700 and earlier great earthquakes. The accumulation of compressive tectonic strain implies that the recent quiescence, the quietness of most of Cascadia's subduction zone megathrust is temporary, and that the ongoing subduction process will cause large and great earthquakes in the future. So we will have large and great earthquakes in the future in this area. Okay, there's a buildup of strain in this area, as they're telling us and they're warning us here. So all of you there, please be very careful in this area. This is the area we're talking about, and of course we have a lot of volcanoes in that area. Mount St. Helens is one of them. Let's pan out, and you can have here, this is Mount Rainier as well. And, okay, as we can see, we have even the Canadian Mount Baker, okay. Bonanza Peak. So, okay, Mount Adams. All right. Rainier, as we said, and we have a lot of volcanoes here as well. This is what we talked about before. Lassen Peak volcano, Mount Shasta, is further down in California. So all of you there, please be very careful because of the 4.7 off Vancouver, and they are telling us that we have it's overdue because there is tectonic strain building up. It's been quiet for the past 300 some odd years, and it will be causing large and great earthquakes in the future. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.